There it is.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for inviting me. I'd also like to acknowledge my fellow board members in the audience, Mr. DeStefano, Mr. Falconi, Ms. Goulan. We will stay after the meeting to answer any specific questions that you might have for us. And we also invite you to our next open board meeting, which would be on August 26th. My name is Nicole Falconi-Shubert. I have lived in this town since I was 9 months old, so it's been a very long time. I went through the Hopatcong school system. My family and I are very proud of the town that we live in, and I think it's very important to give back to my community. And I chose to do that the best way I know how, which is being involved in the school system, because I'm also a teacher. I've been teaching for 22 years now. So our mission in Hopatcong is to our students. It is to provide a thorough and efficient education, which focuses on the whole student's unique talents and interests. We understand that not every student is going to go to a four-year college, so it is our job to best prepare them so they can compete at first in the classroom, possibly on the stage, on the field, or in their pursuits after graduation. We are busy this summer working on updating curriculum. That is just one facet of what we need to do to make sure our students are ready for the real world. We also need to provide for them a safe facility. And in order to do that, we have to invest in our infrastructure and make facility improvements. I'd like to give you a brief financial background on our budget situation. Before the 2% tax increase on school budgets, there was the ability for the town to vote on a school budget. The school would put together a budget, have meetings throughout the town, explain to the taxpayers what was needed to improve and maintain the schools, and the town would vote on it. Unfortunately, since 2003, the budget was voted down. I graduated in 1998. I was very lucky enough to benefit from the last referendum that we had here in town, which is the new gym, which we still refer to as the new gym because it's the last new thing we've really had in a long time. So please keep that in mind. The budget was voted down by taxpayers since 2003. What would happen was the budget would go to the town council, and the town council would then look at our budget, make recommendations, and cut where they thought was necessary. Once that system was outdated, the state put into place a 2% cap, which I think was a very fair way for districts to maintain a healthy budget, to make sure that they were able to provide for the cost of living increases without burdening the taxpayers a tremendous amount. So there was an opportunity for school boards to cap their budget at a 2% increase, which makes fiscal sense. However, the people who were on the board for a long period of time chose to keep a flat budget of 0%, never including that extra 2% to either use to invest in the infrastructure of the schools and to plan for future facility improvements or program improvements, and just to have that little nest egg. So there were years where we've had a 0% budget. This is all creating a perfect storm if you haven't gotten that feeling yet. A couple of years ago, 2018, I believe it was, the state created a brand new funding formula that's very magical. Okay, it's like a unicorn. No one's allowed to look at it. No one knows how it's formulated. But we do know that in Hopatcong, we've lost 90%, 90, of our state aid. Now, we have had a reduction in enrollment, I believe about 30%. 90 and 30 don't match up. Okay, so we were at a huge disadvantage. So what did we do? Well, I'll tell you what we didn't do. We didn't cut teachers, we didn't cut sports programs, we didn't cut clubs, we cut administrators. Okay, we cut the guys at the top. We used to have 16 in 2015, we have 7. It's not enough. I'm not up here touting that it's a great thing, but I am proud to say that we did not touch the classroom as much as we could. So we have 7 people in charge of 4 buildings and an entire school district. We have the lowest administrator to staff ratio in Sussex County. It's 1 staff member to every 25, one administrator to every 25 staff members. And at Hopatcong, it's 1 to 36. Now, if you know anything about teachers, we don't like change. We don't like to complain. We don't like change and we like to complain. We don't love our administrators, right? But we have many staff members in Hopatcong who say, we need more help. We need administration to make sure the schools are functioning. The schools have to handle the academics, the sports, what's going to happen next after high school, the bullying, the cell phones, it's too much. So we've reduced our administrative staff to 7, okay, because they cost the most, but it's also costing us in other areas. So when I go online or have conversation with people, this is the first thing they say: cut the bigwigs. We've cut them. We can't cut anymore. We need someone in charge of the school. We need someone to oversee the curriculum. We need administrators in the building to be educational leaders. So we've done what we could do. Here is a visual to show you. Since 2018, okay, and fast forwarding to 2025, we'll have lost $8.4 million. There was a little bit of a financial aid when COVID happened, and we had some ESSER money, but that is now gone. We've managed, like I said, to do what we can, but we really need your help. We need the taxpayers' help. We need the state's help, but they don't really listen. Okay, so relief came, okay? It is not the best solution, but it is a solution that we need to take advantage of. We would not be doing right by our clientele, which is our students, if we did not take advantage of this opportunity. So recently, the legislation allowed school districts who lost a substantial amount of state aid a one-time opportunity to increase their taxes, their local taxes, by 9.9%. For us in Hopatcong, that would mean we could recover $1.569 million. Remember, we've lost 8.4. This is a fraction of what we've lost. Okay, we have the opportunity now to recover it at the local level. So that means our taxes are going to go up. And when I say our, I mean all of ours. Mine went up a lot. We voted on this on the 24th at our last Board of Ed meeting. So the tax bill that you received in the mail reflects the 9.9% increase through the schools and your new assessment through the town and whatever the municipality or the local tax increase was. Something else that I hear a lot about, this actually came from an email from an individual, and I love these types of conversations because I think it's really good to hear what people kind of perceive and be able to kind of lay out the facts. However you feel about this is your opinion, but I think it's important to know the facts. Someone said, we as taxpayers already give 52% of every tax dollar to the school system. That should be sufficient enough. It is beyond acceptable to raise the threshold without another opportunity to vote. So to that person, I say, we've given you an opportunity to vote since 2003. And the vote has been no. It's a shame that we don't think that the students and the town need to be invested in. Okay, before the 2% cap increase, like I said, we had no votes, 0 budgets. And when you compare what we pay in Hopatcong towards school taxes, it is the 3rd lowest out of all of the towns in the county. For 2023, the tax distribution in the average Sussex County town was 59.39% of their tax dollars going to the schools. The Morris County average was 61.05%, and our contribution towards our school, when you break it down out of 100% of our taxes, is 51.9%. I'm not proud of that because when you look around our schools, it shows. We have leaky roofs. We have windows that are duct taped. We are going to have trouble heating our buildings if we don't replace the underground oil tanks. My son is sitting here, he plays on the football field. I would love to give him a turf football field. Not happening. That's not important. What's important is that our students are safe and secure and they learn. That's what they need. This pie chart represents how our taxes are broken down this year. I took it right off of my tax bill. So we are still at 52.61%, which is very low. Okay, and that is with the 9.9% increase that we've just voted on. So it's a start in the right direction. And the information that I'm showing you today, I'll post online. We'll have it on the school website. And it also came from the source down here. So I've listed for you all of the towns. Not to deviate too far, but something that is also near and dear to my heart is school choice. We have a lot of students and parents who choose to send their kids to other districts. Look how much money those other districts invest in their school system. So the kids who go to school here, okay, and those parents and the taxpayers pay less, but they send their kids to other places who invest more in their school system. That's not right. That's not fair. So the good situation is we have a way to get relief. The bad situation is the timing stinks. Why? Because we just had the reassessment in town. I know it. We're getting hit from 3 different areas and it totally stinks. I can't fix the timing. All I can do is make a decision that's best for our schools, because I feel like that hasn't been the way things have been done over the past couple of years, and we have to right the ship. So if you take a look at this chart, it shows you that the now, okay, the average home in Hopatcong, I think, is around $345,000. That 82.27% are assessed at less than $450,000. So the average home increase is about $27 a month. Okay, if you're right at 450, it's about $35 a month. $35 a month to put 2 new roofs on in an underground oil tank is doable. I'm not saying it to be cavalier, but I'm canceling my husband's Spark car wash subscription, which is $35 a month, and my son is going to wash it for him because the kids need a new roof. Now, here's taking our good situation, okay, our terrible timing, and making something ideal out of it. The tax increase is happening. You already see it. It's on your bill. What can we do to help get the state to kick in, since they really did a number on us with the state aid formula? We can do another referendum. We heard you. You didn't want the $26 million referendum. Majority of the things in that referendum were related to school safety and school improvement, but we did have some things in there like air conditioning, lighting in the auditorium, some scoreboards, which we've taken care of now, okay? So we've pared it down to the bare necessities. If the town votes yes on this referendum, it will fund the replacement of the roof at the Hopatcong High School, the Tulsa Trail School, remove and replace an underground oil tank at both the middle school and Durbin Avenue. Those 4 projects, okay, total around $9,800,000. If the town votes yes, the state is going to kick in around 34%. You're going to see numbers between 34 and 40 kicked around about as far as what the state's going to do. Why? Because the state does what it wants to do. It says it's going to give us around 40%, but it usually comes out around 34, 35, 36. So we're being conservative here. The taxpayer will be responsible for the rest of the percentage, around 66%. The bond rate would be 5 years, and we just got some good news. It used to be 4%. Okay, it's been reduced to 3.65% now. This is very different than the last referendum. Like I said, it was about $26 million over 25 years. If the referendum does not pass, this is still happening. The kids are getting a new roof and we're getting oil tanks, but the taxpayers are going to fund it 100%. That doesn't make sense. Make the state pay. Just to give you some ideas what we have been doing in the meantime, Mr. Hallenbach, our superintendent, applied for a ROD grant to refurbish parts of the roof that are salvageable. This has been going on this summer. So there's some progress photos here. I can't explain what they are. I know a lot of things, but not this stuff. But you can see it's old, dilapidated, holy, and now it's being filled in and it's not, okay? Tulsa Trail situation is very rough. You can look at the pictures down below. There's water that piles up. There's holes in the roof. It's been tarred too many times. We basically have a company on standby who goes up, checks the roof, makes the repairs that they need until we can start this roof project. So here's the question that you're all asking. You already raised my taxes. How is this referendum going to impact my taxes if I vote yes? It's not. We've already did it. We've raised the taxes. The 9.9% that you're going to be paying every month, that $27, if your house is $345,000, is going right from your check to pay off our portion of the referendum bond, and the state will be paying the rest. We are not increasing your taxes. It's already been increased. This money has been earmarked for capital improvements only. Mr. Hallenbach, our new superintendent, I don't know if you want to call it an oath, but said at the last meeting, he will not use this money for anything other than capital improvements. I, as the school board president, said the same thing, and the majority of the people on the school board also said the same thing. We need infrastructure, okay, updates, and that's what this money is for. That is all. So whether we get a referendum to help cover it or we use the taxes, all of that money is for capital improvements. So there will be a vote on November 5th. And just to show you the difference between voting yes and voting no, it's pretty clear here. A yes vote means that the taxpayers and the state will pay the $9.8 million, okay, to get the projects done. They'll pay it over 5 years, but the projects will be done in 3. Why? We don't have to wait for the money. Okay, the state's going to give it to us, or we'll sell the bonds, we'll have the money, and then we can start those projects right away. The projects will start next summer and be finished no later than fall 2027, okay, before my daughter's about to go into high school. By the way, I've been doing this since my son is in kindergarten. Things happen very slowly around here, so I'm happy to finally be presenting something like this. If the town votes no, I've told you this before, it's happening anyway. We will pay it all. We will pay more probably because the projects cannot start until we've amassed at least $6 million to start the high school roof. By that time, the damage is going to be worse and the prices are going to go up. So the projects won't be able to start till about June 2029, and they won't be able to be finished until June 2031. So when you go to the voting booth, please remember this, that we need this. It's going to happen. We could do it together and have the state chip in their share, or we can do it alone, but we need to do it for the town and for the kids. I know that this is coming at a hard time for many people, but there is something called the Senior Freeze Tax Reimbursement Program through the state of New Jersey. You need to be eligible based on your age, your home ownership, your property taxes, and your income. The filing deadline is October 31st, 2024, and you can go to the website here, which will also, I'll post this online for you to look at the applications, frequently asked questions, and check the status of your application. So if you are eligible, I definitely would recommend taking a look at that program. I'm not going to go through all of this with you. It will be posted. These are, oh, sure, sorry. Go ahead, take it down.
And the applications are actually a tax collector's office.
Oh, they have the hard copies there?
Yes, they do.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So I've been taking a lot of questions online. I'm not gonna go over all of these with you. A lot of them are based on things that I've already said, but feel free to go here. I will keep updating it as we get questions. What I'm finding is there's just a lot of misinformation out there about the schools, what we've done to kind of mitigate the problem so far, and stats and things of that nature. I would like to just bring to your attention that there is information up here about enrollment. So we had a question about that. Our enrollment actually is increasing. Hooray. Okay, so we do need to invest in the schools and keep them open. And we did have proceeds from selling Hudson Maxim and the cell phone tower. These are all the things that we did with that money. We invested in construction lab, a cosmetology lab, a passenger van. We had to replace the boilers, the PA system, and we did put money into maintenance reserve. Someone asked, why didn't you use that money to fix the roof? The roof was, I think at that time, $8 million. The sale of Hudson Maxim, do you remember, Phil? Was it like 1.2?
A little over $1 million.
Yeah. So we had to, what was that?
I said we would have need 6 million.
Right. So we did put money in reserve for projects, but it wouldn't have done it. Okay, here's just another visual to take a look at the costs and timelines. Again, if we vote yes on the referendum, the project is funded by the state and completed within 3 years and paid off in 5. If we vote no on the referendum, we 100% fund the project and it's done over years where more damage is occurring, and you all own homes, you know what happens, right? You have to upkeep them, so something else, God forbid, knock on wood, hopefully won't go wrong, but you know, does. All right, so what is next? We are going to expand our efforts to educate the community. We will have open meetings. Mr. Hallenbach would love to come to the senior center to speak to seniors. You want to meet with us at Dunkin' Donuts, the post office, town hall, the football field, the soccer fields, come find us, come to our meetings, we can find you. We are going to have this question on the November 5th ballot. Anyone who is registered in Hopatcong can vote. If the referendum passes, construction will begin in summer of 2025. We are going to have a website up and running after our board meeting on the 26th. That is the best place to get the most accurate information. And I encourage you to email us, to come to our board meetings, to ask questions. I love to answer them and I'd love to hear your ideas. If you have any questions, please stay after the meeting. All of us who can stay will be here. Mr. Hallenbach wanted to be here, but he's on vacation. You can feel free to email him. He's our superintendent, or myself at the bottom there. So thank you all very much. My son gave you the flyers. Please take a look at it, consider the options, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that's right. Since you're up anyway, thank you.